Kiwanis.
We got it.
Okay, Joe. See you later.
See you later. Have a good
Mike,
time.
have fun in Texas.
Mike, have a good time down there.
I think I failed my first test. Can you hear me now? Okay, your eyes are not deceiving you. We had a time change, but we have not jumped forward 6 months. I'm taking
Same here, Ruth.
because he's out of town in Texas. Welcome, everyone. He and Beth are in Texas visiting their son, William. A couple of announcements. You all received an email from John Montgomery. We are very sad about the passing of Margaret Zerf last week. She was 101. There will be a memorial service for her, and details will be forthcoming. John will send an email out to everyone about that. We're going to do a call for introspection with John Montgomery, and then Glenn Pierce will do our pledge of allegiance.
Thank you, President-elect Jean. My honor to do the introspection today. I'm going to tell you a little story as prelude from my good friend Don Chichester, who began his ministry in the New York City Metro in the 50s. In fact, his first date, I believe, with his bride was a Billy Graham crusade. So he knows something about New York City and ministry. And although we are striving to be ecumenical in our remarks, I'm going to tell a story that comes from the clergyman Norman Vincent Peale. I'm not sure how many of you remember Norman Vincent Peale. He's 40 years Don's, but he began his ministry perhaps 100 years ago.
All in New York.
And Don shared with me once that he was somewhat controversial. I saw Norman Vincent Peale speak at a positive thinking rally when I was a Cub advertising salesman. It was a positive thinking rally. It was a 10-hour seminar at the Berglund Center, then known as the Roanoke Civic Center. But I got to tell you, after you heard Art Linkletter and Norman Vincent Peale, man, I exited the Berglund Center ready to sell anything the Roanoke Times advertising department introduced. But Don had always told me that he was somewhat controversial in New York City in the 50s, where he had a church in Manhattan. And as I recall, Don's quote was that people would say, some religious people would say, I find the Apostle Paul, I find Paul appealing, but I find Peale appalling. Nonetheless, I was inspired by what he said, and I hope you will find his message inspiring today. Even though he's been gone since 1993, the words ring true. Everybody really knows what to do to have his life filled with joy. What is it? Quit hating people and start loving them. Quit being mad at people, start liking them. Quit doing wrong. Quit being filled with fear. Quit thinking about yourself and go out and do something for other people. Everybody knows what you have to do to be happy. But the wisdom of the test lies in the final words. If ye know these things, happy are ye if you do them.
Please join me in the pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up is Andre Brooks with the introduction of our guests. Thank you, Madam President-elect. We'd like to welcome our guests today. We have two members of our Action Club who are being hosted by Mike Loveland, Ken Briggs, Bert Boyd,
Robin Founts and John Founts are with us. Yes, please rise. Thank you for being here today. And also Mike Woolwine is with us, and he is hosted by Don Wick. Welcome, our guests today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Andrea. I see Mayor Lee just joined the buffet, and today is his actual birthday, so be sure and wish him a happy birthday today. He was recognized last week, but we can all give him some personal well wishes today. Next up, we're going to do our Kiwanis Pancake Weekly Report, but before we do that, I just want to announce that there is a singular special award that is being given out, recognition that is being given out today, and that is the Jeans Fan Club Johnny on the Spot Award that goes to Dave Perry for being the very first person to turn in ticket money after last week's kickoff. And now, if you'll welcome Ben Spiker and Carter to give our report.
The Ben Spiker.
Obi Ben, I forgot.
Obi Ben. Well, folks, it's been a wonderful week in Lake Wobegon. To announce this week's just a couple of things. More tickets are available at the front desk. I have them too. John asked me to remind you where my office is, that you can drop off money or pick up tickets. My office is in the Fralin Waldron office complex on 419 in Chaparral. I'm in Building B, Suite 105, which is the first big white building you come to. I'm right underneath Eddie's Midris. What's the name of your group? Yeah. Anyway, that's where my office is. It's the first building, Building B, in Fralin Waldron complex. And I'm there every day but Friday. I'm not there on Friday. So let's see. We've had a pretty good week as we kick off. We need to start from the bottom. Let's see. Kevin Reeder turned in $50 this week. Dave Perry, $100. Go Dave. Valerie Brown did $100 this week. John Pendleton did $300 this week. Ray Sarver did $350. And this week's top producer was Mike Loveman. I told you last week, Mike had a leg up because he was getting tickets 3 or 4 days before the rest of you got your tickets. He called and said, I need some tickets. I gotta get going. He took 3 stack. So Mike's got a leg up on us. This week's Kevin's the Rogue Squad, Kevin Reeder's team is at 150. The Death Star Destroyers, which is Lois James, is at 300. And Coach Joe Gaither this week, wins the lightsaber with $500. Now you gotta understand the lightsaber is really cool. I've discovered a new store called Party Central. My granddaughters thought it would cost me a fortune. And I thought nobody more than Joe Gaither needs all this. Amy has a sales tip for us. Thank you all for all you're doing. We're off to a good start. Always turn in your money to my office by Tuesday at 2 p.m. to be counted in that week's sales. Money that's been turned in after that and this morning today will be counted next week's sales. And over 1,000 was turned in out front today. Thank you all. Mike Loveman sold $500.
Okay, your tip for this week is do not be afraid to ask anybody. You'd be surprised how many people will buy tickets that you think, oh, they can't go, or microphone, please. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you just don't be afraid to ask anybody, buy tickets and all. And what I do, what I learned a long time ago from selling is do not ask would you like to buy. Because if they say no, you're stuck. Just go up to them and say, how many tickets would you like? And if they say they can't make it, say, would you like to make a donation? Start off with that. But never ask an open-ended question because if they tell you no, you can't go.
Any questions? We good? Y'all are off to a good start. Thank you so much. May the fourth be with you. I love that.
Thanks for that great update, Obi Ben and Amy. All right, so we're gonna go through and do some announcements. I'd like to just let you all know that we had some of us had a great time at the Midwinter Conference in wild and wonderful West Virginia over the weekend. Some of you may remember that the West Virginia clubs have now been added to our capital district, Kiwanis, and the capital district hosted a midwinter conference in West Virginia as a welcome to those clubs. John Montgomery and I, my husband Ben, and Joyce Montgomery, Sherry and Dave Bergman, Whit and Nicely, all attended from our club. And special recognition should be given to Hy and Don and Sherry and Dave because they were actually part of the program this weekend. So they gave some great workshops as well as updates on the foundation. We were at the resort at Glade Springs in Daniels, which I've never heard of, but it was a very nice four-season resort in the River area. I'll also just remind everybody that we have a couple of events coming up in the club. Our pancake breakfast, which we already mentioned, is May 4th. June 1st is going to be our fun day for the nature park, celebrating that. So I know these things seem like a long way out, but we definitely need to keep them on our radar and make sure that we are talking them up. Tomorrow night, a little closer to us, is the Mill Mountain Theater Social. That's going to be Margaritaville. And Larry has assured me that any slackers who didn't get tickets yet, talk to him right away and get tickets for tomorrow. There's going to be a lovely reception at the Harrison Museum before the event, and you are encouraged to wear some colorful attire, something tropical maybe, like the Tommy Bahama shirt or your Panama hat. No bikinis and grass skirts.
Yeah, those two.
Couple of other things coming up. We've got the Environment Committee is going to do their Zoom meeting on March the 18th at 12:30. The Membership Committee, chaired by Harris Zuloff, is having their next meeting on Thursday, March the 21st at 7:45 a.m. at Panera. That's a Tango. And we've also got a great work day coming up. Mill Mountain Playground mulch spreading. That's Thursday, March 21st at 9 a.m. Fred Jeter is heading that up for us, so you can ask him questions, and we do have sign-up sheets on the tables as well. The Pancake Breakfast Operations Committee is now meeting at Montano's, and that next meeting is Friday, March 22nd at 7:45 a.m. Mike McAvoy heads those up. If you're not sure if you should get those meetings, talk to Mike. Couple of other events that I want to promote and make sure that we can get some volunteers to help out with. We've got the Daisy Art Parade promotion coming up April 13th. And then we also have the Wasina Bridge Party, which is also April 13th. So just to tell you a little bit about these are both some really fun outreach activities for us. The Daisy Art Parade is International Art Day. And it's a really fun marginal arts parade. It's very short march, I promise you. Anyone can do it. It's very family friendly. Outrageous costumes are encouraged. And our Larry the Log Purge is going to be premiered at that Daisy Art Parade. So we'd love to have some Kiwanians show up with their Kiwanis t-shirts. We can all carry our banner and march with Larry the Log Purge. We'll hand out some flyers that will promote our upcoming nature park fun day as well as the pancake breakfast. That event is at 11 a.m. It's a straight march. It actually meets behind the Talbot Museum, straight march up Market Street to Elmwood Park. So very, very short. And again, you can bring your friends, you can bring your children. We'll put that information in the newsletter for you as well. Later that day, the Wasena Bridge Party. So most of you who are aware that the Wasena Bridge is going to be closed for construction for a very lengthy time period. Well, the Wasena Neighborhood Association is having a party to celebrate the bridge before it closes, and we have also been invited to set up a table there. That event goes from 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the evening. There will be food and activities, and we will also be promoting our club there. Have I missed any important announcements, John? All right, well, we've got a lot of time for brag bucks. I hope you guys have some money in your pockets if you haven't already spent it on tickets. For those of you who are guests, brag bucks are an opportunity for anyone in our club to get up and talk about something personal or something related to their business that they might like to promote. A new grandbaby, sometimes we get some birthday checks there, leave for the foundation. And so I invite anyone to come up and give their brag bucks.
Good afternoon, I'm Don Witt. My brag is on my desk, like Line and Hughes Associates, Architects and Engineers. Now, many of you may not know that Hughes actually did all the design work, site design work for the playground. It was a lot of hours. I guess it was about $17,000 worth of hours that they put in for free. So kudos to Hughes Associates.
I'm Ken Briggs. I want to brag on one of the best kept secrets in our sports pages around here is the Old Dominion Athletic Conference, made up of smaller schools, Division III, and it's appropriate today because to my left is Ken Belton, one of the great basketball players of all time at Roanoke College. Is that fair to say, Ken? But 2 teams from the ODAC are in the Final Four for the men's basketball championship. Guilford College, where my daughter attended, and Hampton-Sydney College. Bob Rutherford came in late. Any other Hampton-Sydney students here, graduates? No, Bob's the only one. But that's the good news. The bad news, the tournament used to be here in Salem, Virginia. Now it has moved to John Montgomery's hometown, Fort Wayne, Indiana. So we got some traveling to do to get there about a month. Thank you.
2 brags.
He paid for it. He paid for him, Jason.
Come on up, Brian.
Can't address you.
I want to take a moment to brag on my mom. I received a very lovely card in the mail after my daughter Cora was born, and it was greatly appreciated. Your warmth. I'm sorry, I received a card in the mail after my daughter Cora was born, and it was greatly appreciated by myself and my partner Emily. We so lucky to have the care about the people around us, and it's great. Thank you.
Thank you very much, braggers. Okay, so next up, I'm going to introduce our own JC Taylor to introduce our speaker, Ken Belton.
Good afternoon to all of you. This is a very easy task I have today because I personally know this young man and I've known him for quite some time. I think you're going to be impressed with his presentation. His name is Ken J. Belton. He's actually a church building consultant. Ken has
gone from success on the basketball court to success in business management. He graduated from Roanoke College in 1981 with BA in criminal justice. In his 4 years on the Roanoke College team, he helped lead Roanoke to 2 NCAA tournament appearances. He was the best shooting player in team history, making 59.5% of his shots from the field. He also the 9th leading scorer in school history. Give him a hand. He was named the Roanoke Athletic Hall of Fame in 2000 and was named to Waynesbury High School Hall of Fame in 2013. They are, what was the name of those horses? Oh, the four horses? The Four Horsemen. You might have heard of that back in the 80s, those of you who are old enough. Belton is founder and president of Your Church Partner, a ministry business designed to lead churches through every phase of construction from concept to completion. This includes, but is not limited to expanding their existing building, construction of a new facility, or purchasing a new church. He is an ordained deacon. In 1990, began consulting in 205 with his worship space. Before founding Your Church Partner, he worked as senior market claims manager for Allstate Insurance for 23 years, where he managed department budgets for over $300 million, oversaw claims offices, and received the Distinguished Leadership Award for 6 consecutive years. He is a visionary leader with skills in strategic planning, budgeting, and forecasting, team building, training, and development. I say he'll be a good Kiwanis. What do you think? Yeah. All right, somebody get the application today. Belton serves on the Roanoke College Board of Trustees and the Virginia Western Community College Board of Directors. He lives in Salem, Virginia with his wife, Tony. They have 2 sons, Kenneth Jr. and Isaac, and a lovely granddaughter named Kenny. Welcome him today. Give a hand.
Thank you so much, JC, for that warm welcome today. You know, I do have certain people in my lives that have been a tremendous blessing to me down through the years. So as I was growing up, oftentimes it was my uncles, my cousins, so forth. Now, since I've been here in the Roanoke Valley, certainly Joe Gaither and JC Taylor has definitely been people who had a major impact on my life, where when I need some advice or some words of wisdom, I go to both of them to receive that. So today I'd like to personally and publicly thank JC as well as Joe, who's not present, for their impact on my life, being a big part of my life. So I will give you an applause for that. But I also wanted to thank the Kiwanis for inviting me here today. It's a real honor for me to be here with you and to be before such a great group of people who are doing many great things in our community. The first part of my conversation with you today is just to tell you a little bit about myself, or should I say my testimony. And then the second part is just to leave a little word or a little thought with you to consider. So, about myself. I was born in Lawton, Oklahoma. Father was a military guy. So we were born out there and relocated to Waynesboro, Virginia. I have 3 sisters, and I'm a twin, so I have a twin sister as well. And last Thursday, we celebrated our 65th birthday. So that was a special time for us as well. As I shared, I grew up in what we call the Valley District down there in Roanoke, Harrisonburg, and all of that there, and had a good basketball career there. Had great people there that comes from that area. I played with and against, you know, the Rouse Sampsons, and there I'm a little older, but Dale Curry, and Corey Alexander, and Kenny Brooks, who's there. Those two are my distant cousins right there in Waynesboro. So a lot of good things have come out of Waynesboro and out of that Valley District down there. When I came to Roanoke College in 1977, it was a little bit of a shock for me. There was only 6 Black males and 2 Black females that lived on campus. And so we all united together as brothers and sisters, and we realized that only one Black athlete had ever graduated from college, and that was Frankie Allen. And so the 4 of us that JC had talked about, that they called and nicknamed us the 4 Horsemen, we made up in our minds the determination that we were going to graduate, and we did. But more importantly, we spent our time mentoring and coaching other players and students on what you need to do to graduate from Roanoke College. You heard that I had a career with Allstate for 23 years, and that I got married, and we have 2 sons. I've been blessed to have 2 sons that every father would dream to have. And they both were able to play Division I basketball, and both were able to get their bachelor's degrees and master's degrees using basketball to be able to do that. I do have a lovely, beautiful granddaughter that has come into this house of men and changed everything. I always wanted to know, she's 11 now, but I always wanted to know what was going through her mind when she was 2 and 3 years old, because her dad is 6'8", and her uncle is 6'5", and I'm 6'4", and wonder what was going on when we were chasing her through the house, because she saw all of these giants coming after her, but she handled herself very well. When I worked for Allstate, I ran the claim office in Northern Virginia for about 19 years. I started here, left after 3 years. I said, please get me out of Roanoke. And I went to Northern Virginia, and I was there, and now I tell young people, never say never, because I got transferred back here. But when I returned back, I united with Shiloh Baptist Church, and my pastor there, Reverend Adrian Dow, stopped by and we talked together, and I shared with him that I'm an ordained deacon, and if you need anything, just let me know. I'll be happy to help out. Well, he said, great. We're thinking about building a new sanctuary. I said, okay. You know, when you say that in the Black Baptist Church, they put you to work real quick. And so I had only been there about 6 to maybe 9 months, and I got on the committee. You know, I told them, you know, working in the claim, something burned down, we could put it right back together. So I talked often in the committee, and then someone said, well, why don't you co-chair the committee? And I said, okay. But you know what really happened was, I looked around the room and I said to myself, this must be my new assignment. I thought I was coming back to work in the claim office, but I believe and I know that God had something else for me to do. So from there, we went through that process. We went through interviewing and hiring architects, bankers, contractors. We then went through designing that whole process. After that, we went through the construction phase and it was completed and people came by to see it and they said, wow, this is beautiful. And what I did was I shared with them that the real beauty was that we did it all on a one accord spirit. And I say that because it's so important that you communicate when you go through the process. And I would always tell people, this is what has happened. This is what is happening. And this is what's getting ready to happen. And when you do that, you kind of keep people together. After we finished, my pastor came up to me and he said, Deke, you ought to do this. I said, do what? He said, no, you really need to do this. I said, what are you talking about? Well, I thought about it and prayed about it for about 3 to 5 months. And from there, I asked God to give me 3 things. I said, I want you to show me where my next assignment is. I said, I want you to give me an uncommon idea. So an uncommon idea is an idea that's not imitated, duplicated, copied, or anything to that effect. So the uncommon idea was that I was going to build a team of people, what I call the ABCs, architect, banking, and construction. And what we would do would be, I understand what has to be done in terms of finance. I can look and see what a church can afford. And then what I would do would be go to the architect and the contractor and say, Mr. Architect, I need you to build. Mr. Contractor, I need you to construct within this budget. We're going to stop doing what we've done in the past, where they go to the architect and they give them their wish list of everything that they want. The architect draws up this beautiful designs and gives it back to the church and tells them, here's your new church. Everybody gets excited and happy, and then you take the same drawing and you give it to the contractor and everybody goes, ooh. They cannot afford it. So I said, we're going to stop all of that. And we're going to work together as a team to be able to do this. And so from there, I said, the third thing that I want is your special anointing on me of knowledge, wisdom, and favor to everybody that I come in contact with. Bankers, building officials, contractors, architects, etc. What I learned was from that period of time that your assignment is something that you love. Passion will lead you to where your next assignment is. I asked myself, when was it that I jumped up in the morning, couldn't wait to get to work? When was I the most excited? I couldn't wait to run out the door. When was it that I was the happiest? And it was when I was building the church there at Shiloh Baptist Church. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna step out by faith. And God birthed within me this new ministry, this new business called Your Church Party. And I would partner with the church and lead them through the entire process. I called it my Walmart theory. It's like one-stop shopping at any church. All they had to do was bring everything to me, and I would get them the information. Pews and furniture, stained glass windows, audio, visual. I would get them all of those types of things. And from there, God has just blessed me to be able, for the last 16 years, to be able to travel all over the place to help lead churches through this expansion process. The amazing part about it was that when this happened, it was the fourth quarter of 2008. And that was when the bottom of the economy fell out. And I was like, Lord, are you sure this is what I'm supposed to be doing? And so that January 2009, 3 churches came up and I was able to get 3 loans of food. And then we were off and running. So with that, I've been doing churches in North Carolina, throughout Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and even into Florida. And it's all been through word of mouth. So from there, the thought came to my mind as I travel up and down the highways and the byways that I want to leave with you is that we are all builders. We are all meant to build. And I'm not talking about building churches. I'm talking about God has placed things in our hearts to build. Build. Build better men and women and boys and girls. Build better lives and futures, communities, churches, families. Build better schools and cities. Build better minds. We've been placed here to build stronger individuals, mentally, physically, spiritually. We've been here to build companies, organizations, charities, bridges, and businesses. We've been here to build dreams, hope, faith, access, teams. We've even been here to build playgrounds, as I heard earlier today. Yes, I'm here just to leave a thought in your mind today that you are building. Your DNA has building written all in it. There's a passage in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 9. And that first sentence says, for we are laborers together with God. God built the heaven, the earth, the seas, and he wants us to be co-laborers with him to build his kingdom right here on earth. The next verse after that says that according to the grace of God, which is given unto me as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, another buildeth thereon, but let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. Paul says we are master builders. That's what we do. We build things all around us. And I look at what's going on today, and I say to myself, there's never been a better time to build than it is right now. You know, the world is changing all around us. And we're looking around saying, why is it like this? There has been some foundations that have been laid, but those foundations that we have built have cracks in them. They're broken. And so we need to get back out there and build all over again. You know, every architect over here and contractor will tell you that the first things first that we need are stronger foundations. And so there are families and schools and people out there that just need some stronger foundations that we can be able to help, that we can help them to build. They look around and all around us, and when we go outside, we're looking around and you see students, you see schools, you see organizations, you see businesses and so forth. You see all of these people around, and I kind of imagine in my mind that these are construction sites. We need to be out there continuing to work. And that's what I like about Kiwanis Club. because that's what you all do. You and I are builders. If you get one of us, we're going to build something. When we walk into a situation, something's going to be changed. We don't need more bodies in organizations or in churches. We need more builders in these organizations, churches. God has given us builders 3 things. Number 1, he's given us tools. Number 2, he's given us talents. And number 3, he's given us time. Tools. We've got computers, cell phones, books, materials, education, degrees, experiences, even the Word of God as tools for our lives. We've got talent. We've got spiritual gifts, skills. We've got vision. We've got ability to execute these plans as builders. And we've got some time, some availability to be able to help and to assist people. And there are times that we make time just to do those type of things. Therefore, you are a builder. When you put all these builders together in a group, think about what you can accomplish. All of us as builders, we get together, we can build some amazing things out here. And we can change the lives of a lot of people. And we can change our community. Therefore, we must continue to be productive in whatever state that we're in. I know some of us are saying, well, I'm a little too old to build anything anymore. Well, some of us still have ideas and knowledge. You can be the architect to develop the plans for some of our organizations, for some of our students, to help them make a way and access for people. You can even finance some of the buildings. JC? So when I am asked this question for my own self, what am I building now? What am I building? You heard that I am a member of the board of directors at Virginia Western Community College Educational Fund Foundation. We're building affordable education now. We're building diversity, access to education, opportunities, qualified applicants for the workforce. At Roanoke College, serving on the board of trustees there, we are building new majors, new master's programs, building a football team, marching band, and competitive cheering. We're building new careers. But most of all, we're building young minds in both of these situations. And so there are a lot of people looking around, my family, my church, my friends. And he said, where's Ken at? I'm gonna tell folks, just tell them he's building something around here. I don't know. But the final thought that I want to leave with you is what you are doing today in harmony with what you are building. You are not here just to enjoy what you have built. You are here to keep on building. I want to encourage each of you, keep on building. Thank you. So I'll pause for a moment just in case anybody has a question. Yes.
I have a formula for building
The question is, do I have a formula for help churches to build? And yes, I do. The thing that I share with people that think about it, I don't have anything. I get calls to go to Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida. I arrive there, I don't have anything in my hand. I'm not an architect, I can't even draw a straight line. I don't have no tools to be a contractor. And I certainly don't have money to lend people. I am going there, I have absolutely nothing. The thing that I have is a process or steps that I take. Bible says steps of a good man are ordered by God. He planted within me certain steps to follow, and I follow those steps. And then likewise with the churches, I ask them, just follow these steps with me, and we can be successful. So I do have steps, I do have processes that I do follow. And the first thing that I do is ask them to let me see their financials. Once I see their financials, I ask them what are their vision, feasibility study. I put teams together. I then go through and do capital campaigns for them. I then go through and take the money, go to the bank and get the financing for them. Help them with the budget estimate and put it all together for the church. And that's what I do. Yes.
Part of the question, how do you know?
I back into it based on what a church can afford on a monthly basis. Okay. Yes. So let's say they can afford $5,000 a month to go towards a construction project or to go through a new building. Well, $5,000 a month might be something that's worth $750,000 or $800,000 or something like that. So I back into it. If they can afford monthly, then I can say, this is what you can afford, $800,000 something. And then that's when I come to you guys and say, all right, this is how much money we got to spend. Come on, help me get into the budget. They've been through that quite a bit. So. Are there any other questions? Yes.
Running problem. What the project is started. Cost material. Problem.
The only time I've run into those type of problems has been recently during these COVID years. All right. We do some forecasting when we do this. We build some contingencies there in case something goes up. You know, the cost of projects and materials was going like this until the last 3 or 4 years. Instead of this, it went straight up like that. That was a problem. Yes.
Not to get off the good subject that you're on, just wondered if you played golf with JC. I'd be interested in knowing who hit the ball further.
I have played with JC before, and when we hit the ball, I think his went further, but mine bounced pretty close to his. It rolled and bounced pretty close to his.
And on that note, Please join me in appreciating. The honoring today is going to Roanoke College's Reggie Thomas Fund. And I was quite interested in what this fund was, so I did a little research before the meeting. Reggie Thomas was a basketball legend at Roanoke College. He was a class of '85. He died tragically in 2020 from a stroke. He was only 56 years old. And a fund was created in his honor, and that's what we contributed to today. So Ken Belton is not a member of Kiwanis. I think we better get on it because that was the best love letter to Kiwanis I've heard in quite some time. Some late breaking news from John Montgomery is that we brought in $1,700 today. Way to go, everyone. Let's keep that handshake rather open, okay? Thank you all so much for being here today. Next week, we will have India Houston with Apple Ridge Farm, and she's going to be speaking to us about helping kids grow. If there's nothing else today, we'll call our meeting adjourned.
Hey, those kids.